This is Town Square Sunday on demand. And now, 1420 WBSM's Jim Phillips.
Welcome to Town Square Sunday. I'm your host, Jim Phillips. This program highlights individuals and organizations that help improve the quality of life, living and working here on the South Coast. For Christians in our area, this is a very holy time of the year. It is Lent. Good Friday is coming up. And Sunday, a week from today, is Easter. So the Way of the Cross is a Christian tradition that dates back centuries and centuries, depicting Jesus Christ on the day of his crucifixion. The Way of the Cross is usually done in a church, at least that's the usual setting, 14 stations around the church that parishioners can stop and pray. It is a spiritual pilgrimage for Christians in a very holy time of the year. So what's different about this year and other recent years? Well, this year, St. Anthony's Church in New Bedford and the Immaculate Conception Church in New Bedford has taken the Way of the Cross really one step further, reenacting the death of Jesus Christ with an elaborate program. Now, it's taking place later today, Palm Sunday, 3 p.m. at Brooklawn Park in New Bedford. Joining me to talk about the Way of the Cross is Sister Mary of the Transfiguration, Servants of the Lord. Sister, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, in the Christian world, why is the Way of the Cross important?
It's very important for Christians because, as Christians, we're following Jesus Christ. And he gave his life for us. He died on the cross for us. And he suffered immensely for us. And a way that we can get to heaven and also for us to unite with him, being part of his body, is also to remember his passion and unite to his passion in a specific way. And spiritually, there's a lot of history with it, but spiritually, it's very, very beautiful, and also for Jesus himself, he tells us he wants us to meditate on his passion at least 10 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. And during Lent, it's an important time to unite to his passion and really relive it. And he wants us to relive his passion.
And of course, Easter is right around the corner, which is the ultimate celebration for Christians around the world when Christ rose from the dead. How long has this live depiction of the Way of the Cross been going on in New Bedford? This isn't the first year, right? Right.
We started last year.
Okay.
I think in the past, there was some that I heard of, but it had been a while, and then with COVID. So last year, I was talking with the pastor, with Father at St. Anthony. I just brought up have you thought of living stations before? Do you know have you heard if New Bedford does one? And he said, no, we should do that. You should start. And it was he just said, start right now. It was the end of January. And he's like, I think you need to start. That would be a great idea. So it just happened. And I think it was the Holy Spirit, because he just had this impulse to say, we need to do that. And yeah, it was pretty large.
Well, it is a pretty elaborate event.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about that, and so are you. But it clearly, this is the second year coming up. It's happening, I want to mention again, it's happening today.
Today, right.
Palm Sunday, 3 p.m. at Brooklawn Park. How many people take part in the reenactment, Sister?
This year, I was counting, I think we have almost 55 people involved. So that's including with the sound photographers and the actors. And so about 55 actors. And
it's an amazing thing because, you have, of course, the people who are involved in the crucifixion. You have Roman soldiers.
Right. Spectators.
You have spectators you got to deal with.
Right.
You have, and these people are all in costumes.
Yes.
So this is not a small thing.
It is not a small thing at all.
It's a pretty interesting theater production done outdoors, and clearly they're going to have spectators who are there to watch it as well.
Right.
So is that the parish gets the word out? Has been getting the word out?
Yes.
Spectators?
The parishioners been advertising. I sent like a flyer out, and then here, of course, it's going to help a lot to invite many people.
Yeah. And all of the people who participate, these 55 people or so,
Mm-hmm.
Are they all from New Bedford?
Yes, they're all from St. Anthony's or Immaculate Conception. So
Okay.
a mix of both parishes. And
Wow.
yeah, both communities, because we have Portuguese, we have the American community, we have the Hispanic community all together
Central
doing this
American
project.
community, too.
Yes, Central American, or all together to do this project.
Now, in this reenactment that's going to happen, again, later today, 3 p.m.
Right.
at Brookline Park, do you carry out all 14 stations of the cross, or is it kind of short?
No, it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing, and there's meditation after each station. So again, it's like a passion play, but we're praying. So it is the stations of the cross, and so we have every station 1 to 14, and after each one, there's a meditation and a prayer and words of Jesus that just to meditate upon regarding the passion and how he speaks to the soul to kind of bring the soul back to him.
Now, when I was a little guy, I would walk the Stations of the Cross with my grandmother, who we attended Immaculate Conception Church. And I was surprised to learn in my research to do this interview that there really are 2 Stations of the Cross. There's one that we all know, the 14 stations, where in the end, the body of Jesus Christ is placed in the tomb. But I understand in some places, like I think it's the Philippines, there is in the last station, Christ rises from the dead. So I didn't know that. I didn't know there were like 2 versions.
Yeah, there's different.
What about that?
Yeah, there's different meditations. I was reading also regarding the way of the cross that, different people, different saints have different stations to meditate on the passion. And really isn't one set way. There's another one, I think it was like a John Paul II version that he had other ones as well, other falls or other situations that happened. So again, it's really just a meditation on the passion. And then for the resurrection, it's some places add it, like in the Philippines, and we won't add it because it's the beginning of Passion Week. So just to keep that meditation that, Good Friday is coming. And so to keep that reverence to the death of Christ, but of course in hope of the resurrection.
Sister Mary, it sounds like a large undertaking to do this.
Yes.
I mean, organizing people. I don't know how many. Do you have rehearsals? I don't think you probably have many rehearsals.
We had about 5, 2 hours a week. Yeah, on Saturdays we had about 5
Outdoors
rehearsals.
or indoors?
I did 2 indoors. We did 2 indoors to work on some acting skills because no one's really experienced. This is all volunteer,
Sure.
and so some just to learn a little on acting. Even though the man playing Jesus, he played last year, he does an amazing job. I mean, people were shocked. We forget. People who know the actors, they forget who those people are. They just think it's Jesus and Mary. They do an amazing job. But we had a couple rehearsals indoors, and then the rest are outdoors to learn the route around in the park. And
How much planning did it take to get this together? I mean, you started. You're laughing because there's probably not a lot of planning.
No.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the first year, it was just start. I found the script and I compiled different things, and we just started. And the first year we're learning. I think it's still developing because it's only the second year.
Yeah.
So last year we realized, we need more actors for certain things. So which means that Mother Consecrata, my superior, she's in charge of costumes, and she has to make more costumes but also life. We're sisters, so we have a lot of we do CCD, catechism, the masses
Sure.
to help. So it's not like our only thing is the stations. So we're kind of just squeeze it in when we can.
Well, once you get it all done, though, you can
Yeah.
put that script or whatever you want to call it in your drawer and haul it out every year.
Right, exactly. That's the plan.
That's probably
And a lot of parishioners help a lot too, like with delegating, and we have the Knights of Columbus helping with parking, and we have, the photographers. Some people help out, which is great. Yes.
That's great. Okay, you're listening to Town Square Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips. We're speaking with Sister Mary of the Transfiguration about the annual reenactment of the Ways of the Cross in New Bedford. Now, this event is being held today, Palm Sunday, 3 p.m. at Brooklawn Park in New Bedford. And it's the work of St. Anthony's Church of Padua and also Immaculate Conception Church, which, of course, is on Earl Street in New Bedford. From the pictures I've seen from last year, which I think you sent me,
Right.
It looks like the event attracted a fairly large crowd of onlookers.
Yes.
And I bet you're expecting even a little bigger crowd this year.
Yes, I think so this year. We've advertised a little more this year. Last year we didn't really advertise at all.
Yeah.
So we were amazed at the amount that came. So this year.
Okay, it was looked like a nice crowd. People. I'm sure there were some onlookers who walked up and said, "What is this going on?"
Yep, there's many. Yes.
But there were some faithful there too, who I'm sure
Right.
came from both parishes. So, does the crowd follow along the 14 stations, Sister?
Yes, they'll follow along starting. So we'll start at the steps of
They
St.
will walk
Joseph.
along?
They'll walk along, right. We start at the steps of St. Joseph. That'll be Pilate's Praetorium.
Yeah.
And there's a rope. So there'll be some Roman soldiers, 6 of them, holding a rope. So the people coming will stay behind the rope and follow along and following the soldiers.
Okay. How long does this reenactment take?
It's going to be a little over an hour. Okay. Yeah, it takes me an hour. I'm estimating, I think, an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes.
All right.
Yes.
To you, who was part of the, say, planning, but not a lot of planning, but you're organizing.
Yes.
You're part of it. What's the most important part of this reenactment? What makes you feel good about it?
Really, I want many people to enter into the Passion of Christ. I've realized it's different when you see it live. There's movies, there's pictures, but if someone doesn't have, let's say, a connection or hasn't really had that relationship with Jesus yet, sometimes and many times a performance brings that to them. And really, I just want people to enter into the Passion and see what Jesus did for you. And seeing these actors, they change. You really feel like it's Jesus and Mary walking up Mount Calvary in the middle of New Bedford. Mm-hmm. And he's doing it for at least one person who needs to see his love and to feel his love again. And there's a lot of times that it's just a tradition we do, or the way of the cross. Again, like way back when, some people did it when they were kids, or there's not an understanding of really what Jesus did for us on Good Friday and what he does for us, mm-hmm. How he opened heaven for us and saved our life. And so it's this moment to just unite with him and to really enter into his passion in the way that he wants. And it's an opportunity for others to experience that if they haven't yet.
And the general public, what do you think they are getting out of it? And I'm sure it kind of ties in with your answer.
Right.
That they will get into and observe and understand the Passion of Christ.
Right. Yes. It's for anybody. It's not just for Christians, for anyone to see. Even if they don't know who Jesus is, it might be a good introduction, because the most important thing was, his passion. Everything leads to his passion on the cross, and then to, of course, the resurrection. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just for people, for the general public to enter in to the Passion in a different way than they have before.
Are there any last-minute crazy things you had to do?
We're still, a lot of last-minute crazy things. It's Sunday, and I think we're still doing last-minute crazy things.
Okay.
Costumes. Really the costumes, I think we were a bit behind this year. So it's always the last-minute touches.
And the costumes are elaborate to some extent. Yes. The Roman soldiers,
Yes, we've had great benefactors to help pay, because it's not like we have a lot of money, so like we have the parishioners that help
Sure,
us
of course.
to, they donate, and we've ordered Roman helmets last year for like real metal ones. We have one Roman armor for the centurion, and then Mother Consecrata, she's the superior of our community here in New Bedford. She actually studied costumes and fabric. She knows that whole world, so she's been working. She worked really hard with the costumes and really actually historically accurate too. She does research. This year it says it's pretty cold out. The Roman soldiers have these sweatpants, but they're like historically accurate sweatpants. I don't understand too much, but she's really good at that. So the costumes are really beautiful.
Okay. This event, this reenactment of the crucifixion, a reenactment of the ways of the cross, I should say, is happening today, 3 p.m. at Brooklawn Park in New Bedford. It is the second annual reenactment of the Ways of the Cross in the city. It's being done with lots of volunteers helping to organize, of course, St. Anthony's Church on Acushnet Avenue and the Immaculate Conception Church on Earl Street. It is a remarkable, I didn't see it last year, but from the pictures, I would say it's a remarkable thing to have done. It's live. It's outside.
Yes.
People can come and look. If you're a mind to, you can pray.
Right.
And this is really a wonderful volunteer effort by both churches and the people who are involved. My guest has been Sister Mary of the Transfiguration. She is working on the reenactment of the Ways of the Cross that's scheduled again later today, 3 p.m. at Brooklawn Park in New Bedford. Sister, thanks very much for coming in.
No problem. Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right. Town Square Sunday. Don't go away. We'll be right back in just a moment.